this is, we're playing a Kickstarter game that we just got this week. It's called Strife, Legacy of the Eternals. This is a two-player combat type of game. And my daughter and I have just played one round of this to learn the rules. And we'll kind of go through it as we will explain a little bit of the rules. But the idea is that, first of all, you're going to have these locations that are out here. And each location, as you can see, is worth a victory point. And then there's an ability here. Most of the locations, the ability is to grant one of your cards by classes, if you will, if you think of like RPGs, a bonus. So, for example, there is the Druid, the Wizard, Assassin, Necromancer, Monk, and these cards, these are your battle cards. Each person has the same exact cards, and you decide the order that you want to play them in. And there are a couple of things that kind of make this game a little bit different and interesting. One of the things we will highlight is that, as you can see, one thing that makes it kind of interesting is there's a power up here at the top. This is the battle power, and the power down here, this is called the legacy power. Well, what does that mean? Well, first we will establish this. Since this is our second round, we take our leftover card and we place it here in this pile, and it's face up. This is called the legacy deck, and the card that is on the top is the legacy card that you look at. And so anything over here, their legacy power would kick in. Now, the other thing that we have too, it's kind of neat, are these trackers. So you just slide the card down. As you can see, this is +0. I'm at a measly 3. My daughter is just kicking my tail. Grace, what's your score?
13.
13. She has just killed me in the first round, and I wasn't taking easy on her. She just had a really nice combination of cards. The powers are really kind of neat. They kind of rearrange the cards, and they change the powers and that sort of thing. And so even though we play with the same cards, the order that you play in really makes a difference. And even though we would sometimes play the same exact card, this is called the battle. The third card location down here, this is called the current card. And now we will each do that. And so this one is called the Pit of Souls. It's worth 1 victory point. And, oops.
Plus, he had this stone. I don't know if you can see.
Oh.
Yes, and so what that does is each time you pass it around, it gains a point, and if you're ever in a tie and you hold that stone, you automatically lose.
Yeah, so you lose any tie if you hold this stone. It's a D12, and you'll notice we can exchange this between us, and every time you give it to somebody else, you increase it by 1. And so the thing is, you lose ties if you have it, but if at the end of the game, whoever owns this, they get that many points. So if I keep this die, which I just might now since it's at 11, I would get 11 points at the end of the game and maybe catch up with her.
Still not enough to beat me.
No. All right. All right. So now we are ready to roll. And now we've introduced you to the game elements. That's all that there is, more or less. Now it's going to be about cards. So Grace, select your champion to put on the current location, the Pit of Souls. All right, so we've selected that. Now we simultaneously reveal our champions. I've got a warrior, and Grace has a necromancer, as you might expect, since she has that. I have the higher power, since I have a warrior. You'll notice this up here is the power. That's the base power. And we will do things that will increase the power throughout the game. So the warrior's base battle ability is your opponent's current legacy champion may not activate their legacy ability this turn. So your wizard will have no impact in this round. What's your battle ability?
Increase Necromancer's power by the number of champions in your legacy pile. Ooh, look at that. That's 1.
Oh, so you only get 1.
Yeah, so I have 4.
Yep, because you get a +2 from the location. All right, now we go to the legacy cards. I have a 4. I have the Paladin. And my Paladin's legacy ability, if it'll focus here, is if you would lose the current combat by 4 or less, resolve the combat as a tie. I want to win this because I'm going to lose any tie because I have the Fate Stone. So I hope to win this pretty handily. So Grace, your power is 4 and mine is 7 by the warrior. So I wind up winning this. We move the battle champion over here to the legacy pile, and I get this 1 point, so I'm catching up slowly. We slide down the locations and we reveal a new one. And what is the new location, Grace?
Our new is Cameron's Tower. Add 2 power to any wizards during combat here.
Yep, and it's worth 2 victory points. But now what's up is Natil's Yara. Add 2 power on any druid during the combat phase. So this is a really good one. This is one I think I would like to be able to win. Fortunately, let's see. Okay. All right. We were probably going to choose the obvious things, but we'll see. Whoops. All right, we reveal our battle champion. I have a druid. She has a barbarian. So her battle power will activate first.
Okay. You may discard an adjacent face-up location, but advance the face-up locations, which I'm going to do since this gives him more power.
Wait, what does the power say?
You may discard an adjacent, so I can't do that. No, I like that, and
yeah,
I'm going.
Well, it's adjacent. It has to be this one here.
No.
Okay, so you're not going to do that. So you've got currently a 9. My battle power for the druid is you may rearrange your opponent's legacy pile in any order that you choose. Well, she only has 2, but this necromancer is exchange position with any champion in your legacy pile and then trigger new legacy ability. So, they're both bad. I'm just going to leave it at what it is because otherwise I'd give her the wizard, which lets her add another card to her battle. And add their base power to the champions because it's going to be very close as it is. So let me see. I'm just going to leave it as is. I think it's going to be bad no matter what. Okay. So that's my power. Now we go to the legacy pile. And I have a 7. I have the warrior. Reduce the power of your opponent's battle champion by the victory point value of the current location. So that is now your barbarian has a power of 6. And I can use the warrior's base power instead of the battle champion's. So I could move up a point. That would give me 7 plus 2. That gives me currently a 9. So, Grace, what's your legacy power?
Okay, the Necromancer may exchange positions with any other champion in your legacy pile. Then trigger the new champion's legacy ability. So I'm gonna switch it out with the Wizard, and which can set aside a champion from my hand and add their base power to my battle champion's power.
Okay. So what are you going to choose?
Let's see. Okay. It's going to be Ranger, which has base power of 5, added to that 6.
You.
Okay, what?
Read his power. What does it do?
Add their base power to the battle champion's power. So 5 to the 6 is now 11.
And that means you beat my 9 paltry points and you win.
And I get 3 to 6.
You were at 13? Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Put this here. Put your... it doesn't say what to do, so let's assume that you put your champion on top and the other card below it. Okay. All right. So now we choose a new battle champion. And move that location and reveal a new one. The new location is called Shadow Keep. Add 2 power to the assassins. This is worth 2 victory points. The art on here is really nice. I kind of like that kind of impressionistic, kind of sketchy look to some of these. It looks, I really like it. Okay, so now we choose, and this is one for the monks. This is one for the monks. Wow, this is tough. I've got interesting choices. Given what my powers are, I'm trying to look at it. Okay. We reveal. Oh, she plays the warrior. She doesn't get the benefit of this because it's for monks. She played the warrior, so she goes first. Grace, what's your battle power?
Your opponent's current legacy champion may not activate their legacy ability this turn.
You kicking my butt. All right. Mine is increase the necromancer's power by the number of champions in the legacy pile. And that means I get 3, so he has 4. He doesn't get anything else. So I'm currently at 4, and my ability doesn't work. What's your legacy ability?
If you win the current combat, gain an additional 3 victory points.
Oh my god. Okay. So you win.
Yep.
You get 7 out of that.
All right. All the way down here, that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my goodness, she's whomping me. She's ahead by a whole 20 points. All right, so put your current battle champion on top of the legacy pile.
We're going to move that.
And our new one is the Cathedral of Light. And this is going to give 2 power to any paladin. It's worth 2 victory points. The current one, though, is going to give 2 power to a wizard. Cameron's Tower. Okay. We reveal a wizard and a paladin. All right. You have the higher one. What's your battle power?
You may place your legacy champion next to the paladin, then trigger their battle ability, then add half of the adjacent champion's power, rounded up to the paladin's. So
You are kicking me. All right.
legacy champion, then trigger their battle ability. Your opponent's current legacy champion may not activate their legacy ability this turn, and add half of the adjacent champion's power. Right.
Yep.
So.
That's yeah.
Oh, what this?
Yep.
This? Oh.
So that's 7. You got to. Yep.
We're gonna do 4, right?
Yep.
4. So this is now 8.
All right. And unfortunately, that messed up my legacy power. So, Grace, what's your legacy power?
Legacy power. Ooh. If you win the current combat, gain an additional 3 victory points.
Oh,
This
my
is
goodness.
fun.
All right. So, yeah. You may skip your legacy power phase this turn. Since she's canceling it, I might as well skip it. And then add the wizard's power by your legacy champion's base power, which doesn't really help me. It's only 1 point, but it's 1 point's better than nothing. It's not going to help me because that only gets me a total of 6 versus her.
8.
Wait. I get, I have 3, 4, 5, 6 versus your 8. So you win. You win 2 plus 3. You get 5 more. You're up to 29. Right? So do the same thing. Put your paladin on top.
And I don't even.
We get rid of the location. We slide on down and we reveal a new
The
one.
new one is the Endless Green. Add 2 power to any rangers during combat here.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that quite pretty? It's like a kind of lighted
There's a lot of green
trees. Yeah.
in this game.
Yes, there is. It's a very green game. All right, Grace. And I think that's it. As you can see, where she's really getting me, I'm kind of been forced to try and catch up. So I've been trying to play on whatever is the location. And she's playing very smartly, and she's using a good combination of her cards to really win. All right. I've got 9. What are you playing? All right. Reveal. I have the assassin. She has the knight. Grace, what is your knight's battle ability?
You may move both players' battle champions to another face-up location.
Okay. You want to...
Yes, I am.
You're going to move to where?
Let's do Cathedral of Light. I'll discard this, right?
Okay. All right. So neither of us are getting a benefit from this card. My battle ability is Stealth Disguise. I can exchange positions with the Legacy Champion, which I'm going to do. So now the wizard comes back on top and the assassin comes over here. Now we have that. Grace, now we go to the Legacy ability. What is your Legacy power on your paladin?
If you would lose the current combat by 4 or less, resolve the combat as a tie instead.
Oh, dang. Okay. So if this is kind of a close, I got to win by a big margin. And I don't think that's going to happen. Mine is now the assassin. This is why I did this. You kind of put him in the discard and you add 6 points to the power. So that's what I'm going to do. So that gives me a total of 9. And your power is 8. So I lose because I have the fate die. And at this point, I can't give it up to her because if it's a 12, then she can't give it back to me. And she gets 12 points at the end of the game. So I kind of have to keep it and I lose this. So
I gain 2.
You gain 2. All right.
Okay.
I have not won in a very long time. This is very tough.
Okay, new one. Introduce this.
This is Ravager's Waste. See, kind of skull. Add 1 power to any barbarian's combat here. What? We're almost done. All right. All right. Grace, what are you going to do? Okay, ready, reveal. I have a ranger of 5. You have assassin of 2. So I go first, and I know what you're going to do. Oh no. My ranger, the battle ability is ambush from above. Your opponent's battle champion may not activate their battle ability this turn. So your assassin can't do what you think it's going to do. All right. So we skip your battle ability. We go to legacy. You have the 8 on the knight, so you go first. What's your legacy ability?
You may place the current location on the bottom of the location. Wait, hold on. Current location on the bottom of the location draw pile and then base and advance the face-up locations.
Okay, so she just cut 2 power from me. I don't think that's going to help her, but she did it anyway. That's the way she is. All right. So that's your ability. Mine is you may set aside a champion from your hand and add their base to the power. I don't need to do that because I'm going to win. I've got 5 versus her 2.
You only have 4 points.
Huh?
You only have 4 points.
I have 5.
Yeah.
So I win. Oh, yes. Overall,
Yeah.
I only have 5. Yeah, you're afraid of me now.
How many do I have? That's fair. 32.
Oh. All right. Put your battle card on top of the legacy pile. Oh, and she's going to get a bonus with that assassin. That assassin gets +6. So that's pretty devastating. Okay, we're down to, how many cards do you have left?
I have 2.
Why do I have 1? Oh, that's right. You drew 1 from your hand from one of your abilities. So.
What is this? Warriors. I don't think you have warrior.
I can't remember what it's hard to track too. I've seen her cards, but I don't know exactly what she's played. And ideally, Grace, you should only show what the top cards so that I can't count cards and figure things out. So, gosh, I got no choice. I've got these dudes, and their abilities aren't a big advantage to me. But I'm gonna try this. All right, I've got that. Reveal. All right. I have the higher one. And so my Ravaging Horde. You may discard an adjacent face-up location, which I'm not going to do. What's your battle ability?
The monk gains power equal to the base power of your opponent's battle champion, which is 9. So I have 9 points now.
Right. You have 9 points. And the assassin's going to give her 6 more. So we go over here to the legacy. Hidden path. Rearrange the face-up locations in any order you choose. I'm going to move this here so that at least I get 1 more point. So I'm at 10. She's at 9.
My battle ability.
Or your legacy ability.
Is increase my battle champion's power by 6. So is now a 15.
Okay, you get 1 point out of that. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, I've chosen this.
All right. Put that one in there. And this will be our last. Do
we have to do something special?
No. This is it. Okay.
Oh, I don't have to choose.
I'll take that one.
And
reveal.
okay, before you do anything, I have to do this. Your opponent's battle champion may not activate their battle ability this turn. Too sad, too bad.
That messed me up. All right, so neither of us get the benefit of this bonus because it's for a warrior. I have an 8. You have a 6. Okay, so you already played yours. This is worth an additional 3 victory points if I win.
Which you won't.
Why? I already have. I have 8 and you have 6. Huh?
Don't mock me.
So I win this, so I get 6 points out of this, which I desperately need, and that will give me 13. All right, so that's the end of it. That's the end of the game. She had 33. I get 11 points. That gives me a total of 24. For playing as poorly as I did, I came not bad. I think if we've only played 2 rounds. It usually goes 3 rounds is what's recommended. That is pretty, I think that would have been kind of interesting. The other thing is that we didn't do, because we got this with the Kickstarter edition. I don't know if this is going to be in the retail or not. There are a couple of other nice things that you have. There are 2 extra decks. One, it's called these event cards, and you mix these in with the locations, and this actually, you play it, and for the entire round, when this card is drawn, its ability activates. So it may be all battle champions with a base power of 4 or less gain 2 power. So, you get things like that that alter the game. Some of these, most of these seem to be kind of generic. They don't apply to a class like the location cards do. It might be something like all non-human battle champions gain 2. Or the Endless Green and Nahal Yara locations are worth an additional 2 victory points. So kind of very cool. And the other one, which admittedly I haven't really read up on, these are called remnant cards. And again, these will be, you draw on both of these, you don't use the whole deck. You would draw, I think it's like on the, let me make sure before I say this, is just that with the event cards, you're going to select 3 of these event cards and add them to the location deck. Whereas with the remnant cards, you would just draw 2 of these and add them in here. So it's as you can see, it adds a bit to it, and some nice variation, some unpredictability to it. When I think that these are good to add after you after you've kind of played it for a while, maybe you're real familiar, you kind of start to get into maybe a little bit of a rut with it, maybe. You can play it. But it's really, I thought there were a lot of variations on it, and I'm going to take an opportunity here to Grace, what did you think of this card game?
I really like it. Interesting. There's a lot you have to think about, not just about your cards, but about the opponent's cards, and that's what I kind of did to win most of the battles with him. Yeah.
Yep. Is there any weakness you think of the game? Is there anything you don't like about the game?
No, from what we've played, no.
Yep. This was our first game, so this was kind of our learning game. We may have gotten some things wrong. I have some notes here, questions that I'm going to post to Board Game Geek Con Board Game Geek Con, Board Game Geek forum for this game, and see if I can get clarification, because there were some things that are ambiguous in the cards and how certain combinations of powers exactly work out. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of agree. Even though there are some variations on this, and even though we really played very different hands, I thought even though we have the same cards, it did feel like because we had different strategies in what we were trying to do, it did feel like we were kind of playing with different decks in a small way.
Yeah, the way you play can vary on the person that you're playing with.
Right, and that can muck it up as well, right? Mm-hmm. You can't always use the same strategy. Like you said, I think you made a really good point. Mm-hmm. You play against how the other person is playing. I thought that was an interesting point. These are really good. I love the fact that these are tarot size. They're nice and they're large. And like I said, I really like the sort of quasi-impressionist artwork on these. I think that's really, really neat. I like it. And the only thing might be, again, just that after a time, I could see playing this several times that you might exhaust, and you might be, especially if you're playing with the same person. At the same time, if you played a couple of times and you played with a new person, I think you would have a huge advantage on the other person, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.